Hi everyone, it's Karen. I wanted to share with you today a card that I made for a swap that our team for Stampin' Up! Just had last Saturday. So we each had to make some cards and bring them in. The problem was they had to be for a male person, not the man who brings you mail, a like father, son, brother type mail. And you couldn't use anything from the past catalog. You had to use something that is new. Okay, well, I'm not placing another order because I've placed a few and yeah, a few. Anyway, so I thought, what am I gonna do? I don't have any ideas. So I started playing with some paper strips and I came out with this. It's a little shirt, supposed to be, with little buttons and even a tie tack that says Dad. That happened because there was nowhere for me to put Father, and I didn't want a Happy Father's Day, that. So I said, oh, well, I can fit Dad right there and put Happy Father's Day inside. So that's what I did. So this is a regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card, which is 11 and in half with the, yeah. So this is what we're gonna make. What you need is very, very minimal. I took a piece of paper from my Stampin' Up! Desk pad and just made a couple, made copy of one sheet, which is about, it's good, big enough. So then you take your adhesive. Now I bought this a while ago and I knew I had it, but I just didn't know where. As you can see, it's not so far-fetched that would be true. So what you want to do is you want to take your paper and put this on it. Don't take the cover off of it until we're ready because it's very strong. Oh, so we need is, this is way too much, we'll never use all this, but Coastal Cabana, Mambo, Melon Mambo black, and for the base I use Smoky Slate. Now I've been making these, for last weekend, so this is my last one, so we cannot mess this up, and by we I mean me, but I'm pretty good at that. You are going to need a piece of white paper that is this big. This is the shirt with the pattern. This is the collar, and this is the size of the tie, and that's it. That's all you need. I got some buttons to put on the collar, except they're probably gone now. This is my second try at this. I used this little silver paper, and I've already stamped Dad on it to give it time to dry because this is a slick surface. And I did use StazOn to make sure it stays on. Get it? So then I have like 4 sticky thingies, tape runners, and they're all in the middle of being used. So I'm trying to get rid of stuff, and I thought I'll start with my tape runners. Need a pair of scissors. I don't allow my husband or children to use them, and they say they're afraid of them, so they won't. Those are Fiskars, and I love them. What else do we need? We need this little punch. This, I have another one that's the newer puncher thing, but yeah, I lost it. So this is one of the punches, and I stole the stamps from this month's Paper Pumpkin for May. I don't know if you've ordered this, but it's amazingness in a box is all I can say. Comes right to your door. It is a great buy. It comes for your first time with a stamp block and an ink thing and paper and everything you need. It's a good buy. So, shall we get started? Because I'm sure I forgot something. Need a ruler, pencil, even a pen you could use. So, ready? Here we go. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is get started on our patterns piece. And what you do is cut these strips, and you can do them however you want, what colors you want, what widths you want, whatever you want, you can do it. And basically all you're going to do, peel back a little paper, not all of it because it's very sticky, and then you just kind of start piling. However you want to do it, it doesn't matter. So I try and conserve strips, so I usually will cut some off in the middle. Oh, Melon Mambo needs to go next. So I'm not cutting huge long strips just to put them in a little tiny area. So I'm gonna throw Melon Mambo down. And I am at this point gonna cut my longer strips off, just so I can keep using them, because I've made a bunch of these out of smoky slate paper. So that's it, we just need to keep on going. So anyway, you're just going to keep stacking these until you get to the bottom. And once you do that over and over and over again, you will have this, which this can make a couple of ties. It really can, and anything else. But it's fun to do, and I didn't have a choice because I'm new at Stampin' Up. I don't have a customer, not one except for me. And yeah, I've way overused that. So, yeah, excuse me, I just need a little Diet Coke. And, yeah, I started drinking in bottles because, you know, the sacred rule about not leaving anything open when you're working. Yeah, I was able to save it, but it was just very traumatic, and I really didn't know what else to do. So let's go to making our patterns. So your basic shirt pattern is 5 3/4 tall, 3.5 inches wide, and that's it. You just need to cut that out. When you cut it out, this will be a point, and then these two, and you just need to connect them with your ruler. The only thing that I do, and I did it on mine, was just round the corner a little bit, because it does look a little bit weird if it doesn't. I don't know what it looks like, but it's weird. So that is my shirt to go on my base. The next thing we need is the collar, which is 5.5 long, 1.25 high, and I marked 1.5 inches in and 1/2 inch on the top, 1.5 inches in from both sides. And on the bottom, it's just straight across, because all you need these little marks for is to know where to fold for the collar. So that's that. The tie, it looks really hard, and just the measurements alone, I get flubbed up, but it's so not difficult, it's crazy. So basically, you are going to make a mark. I already said this was 2 inches wide, didn't I? I don't know. Anyway, you measure out, and you want to make a line down the center at 1 inch. So you're going to do that. You can do it with a pen, because you can just, either the stuff's going to go over it or the sticker's going to go over it, and you're not going to see it either way. So make your line. The next thing you're going to do is make marks on both sides at 1, at 2, at 4, and that's it. Do it on the other side. 1. Oh, it's backward. That's why I'm like, wait a minute. At 1, at 2, at 4. And now you have this. So what you're going to do is we're just going to connect all these dots. Oh, hold on. There is a measurement in the middle here, and you are going to mark in 1/2 inch on both sides. Like that. Now we're just going to connect the dots. So you connect the top to that first 1 inch mark. like that. Do the same on the other side. And mark that. And then you remember I said to go in a 1/2 inch on either side and mark it. So we're going to go from this to that mark and draw a line. And same thing on the other side. You're going to go from your point to your 1/2 inch mark in. Oops. And you want to try and get the right angle, just because, you know, you don't want it to be lopsided, as I just went too far. So you don't need that clearly. Now you're just going to mark from that mark you just made here, the 1/2 inch with the mark that is the inch from the bottom. And you're going to just mark that there. And we're going to do that on this side. And then you're just going to mark this mark to your center dot here and on the other side, which is here. And you have your basic tie shape. I'm sorry if that was confusing, because it was to me, so we'll go over it again. The first thing we did was find the center, which is 1 inch because the paper is 2 inch. We then marked down 1 inch on both sides, and then we marked down another inch. However, we also went in a 1/2 inch from the edge on both sides. And then we went down and to 4 inches and made a mark, and 4 inches made a mark. And we also have our line in the center, and we connected those. Really simple. I will try and list all of it, but I honestly don't know how. And I tried, and then I look at my video and it doesn't say it. So if anyone knows how to do that, because I am so non-technical, it's ridiculous. So yeah. So anyway, that's your tie. So first thing you want to do is cut out your tie. And like I say, it doesn't matter where the marks are, because either the paper's going to cover it or it's going to be against your card. So it's fine either way. So while we're cutting this, yesterday, I just got to share because I feel that I am correct and my husband is wrong. Yesterday we have a little Doxy, and he is the cutest thing ever. However, he usually barks all day long, and I have to keep getting up and yelling and stop barking, and for a while I was like, I don't hear him. And we have the electric fence because we have a large yard, and no one ever calls for me on the house phone. So I decide to go out and look for him because he's never this quiet. So I go around the side of the house where he plays, and we have the electric fence, sorry, because we have a big yard, and that lets them play without worry they'll get out. So I'm sorry. So I went around the other side of the house to find him looking like he's eating his toy. So I go over, what are you doing? You know, in that voice where you talk to babies. And I don't want to go on a cruise. So anyway, I go up to him and I say, oh, what are you doing? Come to find out, I get there, and let me just look at you when I say this. It is not a toy, it's a chipmunk. I was hysterical. I was freaked out. I picked him up and I said, drop it, drop it. He wouldn't drop it. Literally shaking my dog to get him to drop it. There's blood. I finally get the dog in the house, and I got him in the sink, and I'm washing everything and squirting water down his throat, thinking he's going to die, and not believing the fact that my precious baby could be such a cannibal. And I think it's a cannibal because I feel cannibal is someone who eats their own kind, and I'm just going to classify all animals as my dog. So it's a cannibalism type thing. So I called my husband, all crying and hysterical, and he's saying he's a dog. Dogs do things like that. He's an animal. That's what they do. Oh, no, I'm not listening to that. There's no way dogs should do that. especially a dog of mine who's adorably cute. So I called my daughter, all hysterical, and all I got out was, Dad, and I was going to say, doesn't believe that this is a problem. But all I got out was Dad. She thought something horrible happened to her father. Anyway, she agreed with my husband that this is what happens. So, Diet Coke. So, if you want to leave your opinion down on the comments, I'd appreciate it. And maybe you could be on my side. That would help. Okay, I got that out now. Oh, but let me tell you, before I put you down again, 2 weeks ago, I went in my garage, 2 dead birds. We had birds living in our garage all winter. They had babies. Clearly, they tried to fly, and they couldn't. That was traumatic again. And I was like, what is happening? Because last year, I was out in my driveway, went to get the mail. Next thing I know, I look down, there's a dead bird on the driveway. So I see my husband's car coming down the street, and I said, come over and look at this. And there's a nest in the tree. I know the bird fell. And as we're talking, another bird comes out of the tree and drops down right in front of us. Oh, and last year, my daughter found a half-hurt bird in the yard. And I don't know why suddenly it's the wild kingdom at my house. Raccoons living in the shed. And called animal control, and they came out and said, oh, she probably had her babies, and at 4 months, she'll take them out. Well, we saw the thing last week, so we're talking the whole summer. I have 3 dogs. They just go out there and bark their heads off, and I'm afraid the raccoon's gonna, eat them. I don't know. My dog can eat a chipmunk. Yeah. Okay. Back down. Sorry to do all that, but I feel better now. I hope you guys do too. Okay, so we just need to cut our last triangle here. Now, all you have to do is take your panel, and you can stop whenever you think you don't have to go this big, but you can. But the easiest way to do it is to hold it and just cut around it. So basically you do your little clip here, and you do your clip here. Just if you put something on there, like any kind of tacky anything, it's just going to be a nightmare to get off. So I have found through trial and error, this is the best way. So just cut and move your scissors any way you have to get the best, tightest to the corner. And this last 2. And that's it. All right, so now we have our tie. Isn't it cute? It's like a little tie. All right, so we no longer need measurements. And we now have our tie and half a shirt. So let's go to our shirt. Collar, sorry. This is the shirt collar. And this makes a difference if you use pen or pencil. I think you need to use pencil because either way, it's gonna be seen. So you don't want that. So this is 5 inches long, 1.25 inches wide. On the top side, which is this side, we are going to make a mark at 1.5 from both ends. So here we are at, oh, I was so into that story and getting upset I put my glasses down. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is mark it at 1.5 inches and on both sides. So 3 3/4 and 1.5. On the opposite side, you're going to go only 1 inch on each side. So you want to move down from 5 to 4 and from the other end to 1. So you now have 2 dots and 2 dots. I found it much easier than to just bend it, to use my little scoreboard. I have my big one from Stampin' Up, which I love, but I don't know if you can see my craft room, but I can't find it. But I will find it and break it back out. So anyway, what you're going to do is match up the two lines. It's going to be an angle, so if you match this one, all you have to do is swirl your paper till you can match a row. So I think to match her up. And do gently in case you don't get in the same track, because it's easy to do that. Which apparently I have just done. There we go. And you got to turn this one because of the angle. You're going to have to, it's easier to just do it. And there you have your score marks. And then all you have to do is you match, and you want to bring that in. And bring both sides in and burnish it. And yes, I should have a blown folder, but I don't. All right, so here are the pieces. Now, the other thing I did, and again, this is own personal preference, but I took my basic gray ink pad, and let me tell you how nice the other ink pads are. Well, let me just show you, because I have one right here. So basically, it's like, oops, you gotta pop it, and that's it. Then instead of getting ink, some people were saying, oh, we get ink on our knuckle. Then push it in from the back. Perfect. I've also taken a candle, birthday candle, and just ran along the tracks. And yeah, you might get a couple little flakes, but I don't know about you, but all my stamp pads have flakes of something. And then all you have to do, close it. Whereas the old one, it was push, it was pull there, flip, and backed out again. Now, what I think, we don't want to like make the huge like lines so that it's, but just like tap it. Just place it down everywhere. Just slide it through. You're really just trying to get the definition so that it just doesn't look so stark white. Oh, try not to drop it. Okay, do the same thing with the shirt. And then we are set to put together. See, because this now you gotta pull it a bit and then flip it and then lock it. I mean, in the real world, it's like not that much effort either way. So, all right. So first thing we are going to do is to, see, I gotta see which one is the lowest. There's this one. Maybe it's lower than I thought. Oh, there we go. Come on. Okay, and we are, all we're gonna do is line them up, and you know, handmade, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Next thing we're gonna do, and this is really not good for someone with ink all over their hands. We are going to pop that baby in the middle. Also, do a little dab on the corners, just so they'll stay. Actually, we should wait a little bit for that. Just put tape on the middle part in between score lines. And then fold it, because you want to see where exactly the best spot is. You want to go all the way up to the top of the card, because otherwise it's hard to fit the tie. And even now, you don't know if it's going to fit or not. But basically, what you're doing is trying to fit it. I guess your best bet, now that I'm thinking, is to put this up as far as, you know, so this little pointy end is not sticking out. But the other thing that I did was to stick it under, and then you really can't tell that it's not in the collar. So this one looks like he's a little off kilter here. And all you do is stick it down. And you can either leave your tie floating, or you can glue it down. I might just glue a little bit, because, you know, they are wearing a tie tack, so it wouldn't be that flowy. And then we just take our little dad and we center it in between the little label thing, and I'm pretty sure you can still get that in the catalog, and I will check when I'm making a list that no one will be able to read, because I don't know what to put it, where to put it. So we're going to take our little tie tack and just figure out where exactly it fits the best. I don't remember back in the day when guys wore tie tacks where exactly they went, but there's that. Now, as far as my buttons, since I seem to have lost them somehow, is to just, I mean, that's gigantic, but when you find a small enough button, that is not either, I then take my twine, which I keep all of my baker's twine in sugar shaker things. It doesn't get tangled. It comes out when you want it. It's just a great way to do it. So I have like these stacked across my shelf. Anyway, you're going to go in and you're going to just tie it in there like it was just thread. And I don't want to put these on because they're the wrong size. So I think I am sending this to my dad. So I don't want to mess it up. So anyway, here is your card. If you need any clarification because I was rambling, or you won't find it when I list it, then please just message me and I will help you through it. But I appreciate you all coming to watch this. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate it if you would share this, become a follower, ring the bell, give your last child to me. All those things, I would appreciate it. So have a Diet Coke and keep on crafting. See you soon.